Good morning, everyone. Here I am with the very second video of the third chapter of geography, that is Motions of the Earth from Integrated Social Science, Ratna Sagar, Class 6. In the previous or in the very first module, we have discussed about the two motions of the Earth, a brief discussion on the two types of motions of the Earth, the rotation as well as revolution, and we headed towards the topic rotation in more detail, where we discussed that what is rotation, what are the effects of Earth's rotation, isn't it? So today, uh, let us we'll be dealing with a topic which is the circle of illumination. Okay, and we'll try to understand what is this circle of illumination. Okay, and we'll also be dealing with certain concepts or certain parts or schedules of the day or night. Okay, and we call it by different names, so we'll be discussing with those things as well. So let us see the contents. Okay, and then we'll start. So today we'll be dealing with the very fourth topic, that is the circle of illumination and the length of day and night. Okay. See, we have always been knowing the fact that the sun is the main source of heat and light for the earth, isn't it? So, due to the spherical shape of the earth, as you can see, due to the spherical shape of the earth, the only one half of it gets light from the sun. Okay, suppose that if sun is this side, okay, this side is sun. So what will happen? Will the rays of the sun be reaching to the next side? No, isn't it? So that is why the other half remains in darkness, as you can see in this figure. Okay, the rays of the sun is falling on a part of the earth. Okay, and the other part at the same time is is remaining in darkness, is experiencing darkness, isn't it? And this is where the sun's rays are actually falling. Okay, and this is, as you can see, in between there is a line. Okay, and there is an imaginary line passing, um, which separates the lighted part of the earth from the dark one. Okay, this is what called circle of illumination. What is circle of illumination? Circle of illumination is an imaginary line. Okay, it is an imaginary line which separates the lighted part of the earth from the dark one. Okay, thus the portion of the earth that receives sunlight experiences day, and the portion which is in darkness experiences night. Okay, let me uh, show you something in the next uh, slide. These are the following terms. Okay, we actually use uh, for the phases of the day. Okay, for the different phases of the day from dawn to dusk, isn't it? You must have heard about dawn. Dawn, that's sunrise, noon, sunset, dusk, midnight. So we'll be discussing with it. You can There is an experiment, okay, which you can do basically to understand that what is circle of illumination. Okay, it is quite written in the book, so you can do it yourself at home. Just you have to do an activity. Okay, that activity basically will be telling you that how uh, days and nights are caused with the uh, how days and nights are caused. Okay, so do go through that activity and do perform it. Okay, and here are the terms. As you can see, that the first term which we have used is the dawn. What is dawn? Dawn is the time of the day just before sunrise. Sunrise, the time when the sun comes up in the morning. Noon, the time when sun apparently reaches the highest point in the sky, that is 12 o'clock in the daytime. Okay, at this time At this position, no shadows are noticed. Sunset, the time when sun goes down and we notice darkness approaching. Okay, we are not experiencing the darkness, we are approaching towards darkness. Okay, dusk, the time when it is not completely dark but there is some diffuse light. Okay, and this is also called twilight as well. Midnight, the time when it is a deep darkness, specifically the middle of the night, that is 12 o'clock at night. So these are the following terms related to the phases of a day. Okay, that was all related to the circle of illumination. Let us move on to the next topic, that is length of day and night. So we have always noticed that the length of days and nights is not the same throughout the year. There must be some reasons why the length of days and nights is not same throughout the year, isn't it? So this variation is basically due to the inclination of Earth's axis. Okay, this variation, why this variation is? This variation is due to the inclination of Earth's axis. What happens due to this inclination? The northern hemisphere remains inclined towards the sun for half of the year and the southern hemisphere during the other half, isn't it? And the length of days and nights is equal at equator throughout the year. Okay, where is the length of the days and nights equal? So the length of days and nights is equal. Okay, the length of days and nights is equal at equator throughout the year, that is 12 hours each. And there's one more thing, if the axis of the earth was vertical, okay, what happens if the axis of the earth become vertical, turns vertical? Okay, what would happen if the axis of the earth was vertical? The length of days and nights would be equal. Okay, the length of days and nights will be equal to throughout the year. Okay, right now the axis of the earth is not vertical, it's inclined. That is why we have a difference between the length of days and nights. If it would be vertical, then we will have equal number of days, okay, equal length of days as well as nights, that is 12 hours each. So as you can see here, this is the figure given in your book. Okay, actually it is showing the variation in length of days and nights due to Earth's revolution. So as you can see in figure A, okay, the North Pole is quite inclined towards, this is the North Pole, okay, it is inclined towards the sun, whereas the South Pole is turned away from the sun, okay. So as you can see, a larger part of the northern hemisphere receives light, and in the southern hemisphere there is deep darkness. Okay, in the next part, as you can see, we have already seen in circle of illumination. Okay, the areas will be having direct sun rays, they will be receiving light, isn't it? There will be day, and as you can see that a larger part of the northern hemisphere receives sunlight. This results in longer days and shorter nights in the northern hemisphere, and it is reverse in the southern hemisphere. As you can see, in the northern hemisphere the day is longer, but in southern hemisphere the day is shorter, whereas the nights in the northern hemisphere is shorter and in southern hemisphere the nights are longer. Okay, as you can see, there is a far more difference between the lengths of days and nights in northern with, if we compare it to the southern hemisphere. And if you can see the second figure, that is 3.6b. okay, 3.6b. So the south pole is inclined towards sun, whereas the north pole is turned away. The north pole is turned away from the sun. Thus, a larger part of southern hemisphere receives sunlight, and these results in longer days and shorter nights in the southern hemisphere, and it is reversed in the northern hemisphere during this time. Okay, so as you can see, I have written here that in figure B, the north pole turned away from the sun, the south pole is inclined toward the sun, there is a deep darkness in northern hemisphere, And in southern hemisphere, a large part receives light. That is why the days are shorter, the nights are longer. And in southern hemisphere, the days are longer and nights are shorter. And throughout the year, the length of days and nights is equal at equator only. Okay, throughout the year. Okay, the only imaginary line where the actually the length of the days and nights are equal, it is the equator. Okay, this is all for today, and in the very next module we'll be discussing on revolution. Okay, and its effect as well as phenomenon of seasons. I call it a day. Have a nice day and do watch the video. Okay.